Hey YouTube, hey Twitch, hope you guys are doing well. Today's YouTube video is going to be about how cops etiquette should be, how cops should operate, going from patrols to investigations to administration to an extent, and then finally ending with how a prison should operate. Now, first of all, cop etiquette has to be very restrictive to where they have to be like lawyer light. Why? Because, for example, if a cop decides to walk up and start by saying, "Hey, I'm a rapist," congratulations, your cop's so controversial they get countersued immediately because they claim they're rapists, and now they're such a bad cop they're annoying. Alright. Fucking basically every time a cop fucks up, even on a social level, it makes the case more and more hard to do because people like The Daily Show will talk shit and say, "Hey, that cop's a fucking rapist." It ruins the cop's arrest even if they proclaim they're a rapist or something like that. Literally every sin fucks up the cop's arrest. Alright. Anyway, moving on, they have to be very polite to where basically this is going to be a review of social etiquette, except you have to be a lot more strict and follow a lot more laws. And basically up to freaking trying to avoid even cursing sometimes because fucking they'll claim you're too edgy or something. A lot of this stuff is really just avoiding the news talking shit. You basically have to be like fucking PG rated to an extent to avoid getting fucking countersued by the cops, by the news on any level. Even so much as saying, they're like, "You're foul-mouthed. You don't represent a good, virtuous human being because of how foul-mouthed you are because you kept swinging the N-word around or something." That ruins the cops because they say the N-word too many times. They are, like, racist if they're white. Especially if they say the hard R, obviously. Yep. Alright. So, they have to be very strict with themselves on a social level especially. And cop etiquette, in my world, would, basically kind of end on kindness when beyond being social etiquette, because I'd probably allow them a lot more hits for one. We'll just like review that now. You'd probably take more harsh beatings if I was in charge of cops, literally, because I remember from studying things about cops, you best get 6 hits before you can get sued with cop brutality. You would not get that with me. They would have to at least break a bone for you to be able to charge cop brutality, especially if you were doing assault that day or rape. Or you had a gun, you fired at the cops, especially if you just fired a gun at a cop, or like did a fucking school shooting or something. You fucking were like a school shooter tier person. Cop brutality would just be written off because you like shot 7 people that day. I would just say, hero clause dictates we can beat you to death because you shot 7 people, including a child or something. Literally, I would just allow that. I'd allow a death penalty on the spot. They like shot at least like 5 people in public, especially if it was just at a mall or something. Not even something like at least makes a bit sense for crime, like a gang-motivated crime, where it's like gang versus gang, where at least everyone's a fucking criminal. Maybe I won't feel as bad. Maybe I'll actually feel bad to an extent. I don't know. It feels like I just feel like I'm more likely to want to. I don't even know why that makes sense. Actually, I should fucking still give you the right to kill people if you're having a gunfight on a gang scale level outside. Yeah. All right. So socialness also dictates as a cop that, as always, I must dictate the bare minimum of sadness, where people are like, "Can't this be an invisible rule?" No, it can't. I have to explain to you that cops aren't allowed to inappropriately touch you unless they are like, nothing sexual guaranteed, but the more and more I say you're a criminal, the more and more inappropriate touching allows me to punch you in the mouth and restrain you and put you in a cop car and send you to jail. Literally, the more and more you're a criminal, the more and more I just give the rights to abuse you. Up to death, especially if you're just shooting people, like a child, or like even just an old man for no reason. Just crossing the street, you shoot at him. Congratulations, I would do Hammurabi's law and say serial killer gets shot at too if they are trying to be serial killers outside. Yeah. Anyway, freaking, what else about cop etiquette? I would, honestly, cop etiquette would be a bit meaner. For example, you don't get away with antisocial stuff because for an interrogation, I would make them fucking interrogate the hell out of you, and you would not be allowed to leave until at least they at least could say for sure you didn't know anything for a real reason. You aren't stonewalling them. If you stonewalled my cops enough, I would have you at least fined for fucking keeping information about a crime from the police, maybe up to fucking jail time if you were a witness in the room. Maybe I'll be nicer if you're at least outside the room of the crime, but if you're inside the room where the crime happened, you don't say shit, I would probably intimidate you by sending you to jail because you're like an accomplice to me at that point. I'd probably charge accomplice on you because you're not trying to say shit about the crime you witnessed. You'd be an accomplice because you're restraining information, and I would send you to jail. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. I think I should explain more cop etiquette by just like going through the phase, explain how cops should work and what they can't abuse. We're gonna go into patrols now. Patrols for cops should be very simple, if vibing with the normal system. I described briefly how I would want security systems to work. We're going to vibe with the first system, which adapts to modern society, which is cops will be stationed at the police station, but in addition, they'll be stationed in public spots where people are expected to be at. To kind of act as on-duty moderators of society at like a place like this restaurant, that gas station, the public library, basically anywhere where you expect people to be at on a daily basis, near 24/7, and decently large groups, even if it's just 10 people or more counting the workers. So that would include stores like Dollar General and Walmart. They probably wouldn't force them to be inside the building. I'd probably prefer they be outside, but I probably would prefer them to be outside for the most part, because especially if it's like a McDonald's, because I don't want the tables taken up by too many cops. I will say, to be nice, you get access to their Wi-Fi still. You'll still get access to their Wi-Fi. But for the sake of the business having full operations inside the building, unless the cops are eating food at that time, they will not get to be inside the building. They have to be outside. Though I will probably mandate like a check-in on the business once in a while. Just like fucking check in, make sure like no one died in the corner or something from like people being lying. Or they like fucking sound insulated the room like a YouTuber could. And fucking kill a man without making sound because they sound insulated the inside of the building or something. Anyway, let's see. Their patrol routes will basically, since we're stemming from being around businesses, based on my town, and I think each of them should just do a quarter of the town for when they actually go out on patrol in their car. If I do that, which I probably will to an extent. I'd probably do something like 30 minutes on off, maybe 30 minutes of patrol, not counting travel time to get back to your resting spot as a patrolman. Then you sit at your McDonald's and relax or whatever for 30 minutes, and then fucking next 30 minutes you go on patrol again. Maybe we can change it to an hour-by-hour basis. I don't know. I'm like thinking about it off the top of my head. This is just like off the top of my head. We're mainly doing etiquette with this one, not really the structure of security too hard. Anyway, the etiquette of being at your resting spot, in this case the McDonald's, is quite simple to an extent. They are allowed to hassle you, but they are supposed to be polite with as long as you aren't suspicious. And they are going to be so rude that I will be suspicious based on the clothes you're wearing, such as fucking walking around in a hoodie with your hood up in the middle of summer like it is now. Wearing a balaclava in broad daylight, that's annoying. The only exception I might allow is if you're riding a motorbike or something because you want to block the wind. But once you're off the motorbike, I expect to be able to see your face, or else I'm fucking annoyed with you. And I will question you if I was a cop to make sure you're not doing anything evil or fucked up, or you're about to rob the store. Like, for example, the best example is you walked up wearing a balaclava, which is a face mask, just lets you know it covers your whole head. Fucking you just have eyes and mouth cut out. I would fucking allow them to search you on the spot if you walked up to this restaurant with that mask on. Literally, I would make it a mandate, actually. Alright, so stuff like that will let you get searched. Literally, just like even dressing suspiciously will get you searched. Fucking, if you come up to the place too angry and like screaming death threats at someone, they will probably hassle you immediately. Fucking at least begging you to calm down, or else you will be fucking... we'll do the bare minimum of fining you for being a public disturbance, for yelling death threats at someone, so we will fucking fine you for doing a public death threat, especially if you're yelling it very loudly across the street as you approach your victim. Yeah. Basically, the cops will be on-duty moderators for spots like this, mainly for the outside, and occasionally for the inside, but at least check in to make sure no one's fucking getting beaten in the corner or something. Yeah. Alright. Anyway, Um, Now when it comes to handling an arrest, I would expect them to be, quite frankly, there is the polite version as always, where you just willingly go to jail. But if you don't willingly go to jail, beatings are always in order, up into the pinnacle of a real UFC fight, where they will beat you up with martial arts and restrain you with submission holds, and then cuff you during a submission hold. And I will allow them to beat you up with a nightstick or shoot you with a gun if you went lethal. But honestly, in my world, I would vibe with matching force mainly. Like, for example, if you only used your fists, they will at worst use a nightstick to beat you up. They won't use their gun. But if you pull out a gun, the cop is immediately allowed to shoot you. Like, immediately. They will at best ask you to fucking calm down before they shoot you and threaten you with arrest. If you don't even calm down or put down the gun within a few seconds, I will let them shoot you on the spot, especially if you're already yelling death threats. Yep. Alright. Let's see, what else for patrolmen? Patrolmen are mainly supposed to observe things on a regular level. They aren't supposed to get, like, Batman weird with it, where, for example, off the top of my head, being a Batman level, just being it would be an investigative clause to do stuff like investigating the chemistry of these flowers, to see if anyone's balls are fucking turning to itchy balls of pain. It'd be stuff like that investigators are supposed to do. Patrolmen are supposed to just vibe with the surface level, which is just what they visually see and hear. They aren't supposed to just do stuff like wonder if someone's fucking cooking an evil patty of despair in the back of the McDonald's to kill people in the lobby, unless they at least see visual smoke or smell something weird. They aren't supposed to be weird about that unless they at least visually see something fucked up, like, say, someone fainting from the weird smell from the kitchen. Then they can investigate. Otherwise, as long as no one's visibly getting hurt or being fucking weird enough to where it's like a public disturbance, like screeching autistically Pickle Rick or something, or fucking yelling death threats as per usual, they will vibe with mainly visual stuff and things they can hear and see on an obvious level, and not go like 12 layers deep into your card combo to see if you're secretly poisoning someone by farting by the heater or something. They will just be very normal with it. That level of weirdness, that level of intensive thought is for investigators. They are mainly supposed to be very normal moderators to a major extent and just solve things on a basic level of just like what they visually see and what happens around them. But investigators are supposed to do everything else that will make people annoyed with finding the real hidden shit of society and not fucking just being normal vibes, being like, everything's chill. We're all willingly killing ourselves at the corner. It's a church party of sadness. We're killing ourselves with the Kool-Aid. The investigator is going to solve you killing yourselves with the Kool-Aid. The typical cop moderator in my world would walk into the McDonald's at one point and find the church killed themselves in this McDonald's. They would not stop them unless they at least visually saw them poisoning the soup or whatever. You all would just die suicide for your church suicide. And they would just be like, whoa, I didn't see them poison the burger. It's over. I suck. Yeah. That's the investigator's job, to like try and figure out ahead of time or something that you're gonna do like a church suicide or something. Yeah. Alright, so that's like the basics of cop etiquette for a patrolman out the way. We're now gonna move on to freaking investigators. Investigators are the ones that are major dicks, to where basically the only restraint there is if the court tries to restrain them on a level to where they can't search your house, because we would probably still vibe with doing search warrants and stuff. But they are allowed to investigate enough to where they would at least figure out if it's worth a search warrant. Such as my favorite would be stalking you very rudely outside your house on city property, which, if I'm correct, the city property is basically any sidewalk outside the property, such as like literally just like over the curb at that sidewalk across the grass, just like that first patch of grass over there. Like literally, I would let investigators just hang out outside your house for hours on end just to stalk your house. I'd even let them hide in plain sight to an extent, like I don't know, like they could hide in that tree. I'd probably let them hide in the tree. We'd probably let them hide in the tree or stalk you from the house next door, even like it's typical cop stuff to just stalk you from a building with cameras and shit. Probably let wiretapping happen too. But I'm not gonna lie, all advanced stuff like that would be based on like even figuring out if you're doing something too dangerous or you're weird. Because I won't lie, I would even let search warrants happen if someone that was weird suddenly had too much influence and got someone ordered a beating on someone. Like literally, like if a cop witnessed some random fuck order someone to take a beating and everyone ran off to do the beating, that cop would have immediate privileges in my mind to do a search warrant on that man's house. And also probably fucking start investigating him so hard. He basically interviews his fucking boss, his family members, any friends he regularly hangs around with. It probably does arrest based on their fucking patterns from there. Alright. Investigators' privileges before they get the search warrant, though, will also involve chemical analysis of things like the dirt, flowers, the grass, basically anything outside, including the paint on the outside of their house. That is basically because stuff like blood can seep into all these things enough to where if I find human blood on any of your property outside, and especially because it can spread out on a germ level to where I can like find blood in the paint of outside your house, like this wall, I would fucking allow investigation just based on enough blood alone. Or if I found something weird, like I don't know, too much sperm on the outside of your house, I don't fucking know. Just be anything suspicious, really. Mainly blood, honestly. Mainly just be investigating blood. I'm gonna be real. There's like fucking. Is there anything else I can think of? There are chemicals that can trace crimes to an extent. Fucking like with murder, it's blood chemicals, obviously. With rape, it's probably rape, smegma, and cum. With theft, I want to say it's like the fucking security tag. If their security tag works. Basically, anything that can trace back to a crime, and I find it at your property, that would allow a search warrant to determine if you did that crime or not. That's just to figure out how to get in. There's also stalking you, including the internet. I will let internet and phone stalking happen, literally just to see if it's worth a crime. Pro Patriot Act on this one to make sure crimes don't get done. Investigating phones and the internet and your internet history is legal. I'd probably do it on a hacker basis too, where stuff like you connect to a public Wi-Fi like this McDonald's. Congratulations, the cops get to start searching your phone for shit based on keywords at least, including your YouTube history of shit. Yeah, and anything that pings them too hard, like I don't know, too much rape porn on your phone, I'd probably let them at least do a search warrant or maybe even hit you with the mental hospital card because of too much rape porn on your phone. Get a mental hospital check on that. Let's see. When it comes to the investigative process of dealing with people face to face and things like an interrogation, they would be polite to an extent, but not gonna lie, you would basically we're going to do polite torture. Polite torture is basically stagnation without entertainment. You will not even get mental hospital grade entertainment. You will be told to sit in a white room with at best a cot and no books until you agree to confess to what you did. Or else your main punishments would be for like many hours of the day, if not the entire day. You would be forced to sit in a room in stagnation with no TV, no internet, and no books. Because I think that's the main way I can torture you without beating you up. And I can be nice like that, where I just take away all your internet, all your fucking entertainment stuff, including your ciggies, your weed, your liquor, no drugs, nothing to entertain you. You get stuck in a white room to go insane in until you're willing to confess to what crimes you did. Would I allow torture is interesting. It really depends on how severe the crime is, and I think it's still in process. Like, say, I think you kidnapped a child. I need to figure out where the child's at. I'd probably allow torture in that regard. But if the crime's already said and done, and I just basically have to prove it at that point, and I don't know, like even if it's just at a point where I can't quite prove it with anything else but just torturing you, I don't want to force a confession out of you besides a stagnation. And if I at least know the crime's done and not still in process, like again with the kidnapped child example. Kidnapping is probably for some of the few crimes where I'd be like, the crime's still in process and serious enough to where I'd allow torture. Once the crime is done, and I basically know everything's settled, I'd probably stick with just stagnating you in a room with no entertainment, including drugs or no TV. No TV, no drugs, no books, and you'd sit in a white room. There wouldn't even be color to entertain yourself with because I'm bored. I'm going to torture you with a white room. That would be basically that would basically be the interrogation room of sadness, where I just stagnate you all day for, I don't know, a month. I think a month of stagnation, where you just sit in there for a month and at best get food, which I will be mean. You will not get delicious food. You will get oatmeal every day. And no Kool-Aid. You get oatmeal and water. Because I'm going to torture you on a food level too. You don't get anything interesting even as like a fucking school lunch pizza. You will get oatmeal and water every time until you confess to your crime, or I give up at the end of the month and just let you go because fucking you didn't confess to anything within a month of me stagnating you. I couldn't prove you're a criminal in that time with security footage or whatever. Yep. Anyway, besides that, interrogations when they're in the room with you will be polite. They will, unless you're doing something so severe as a kidnapping, they will not be allowed to hit you. Your worst punishment is just being stagnated with no entertainment, which that's good enough to me. You will be fucking, you'll probably get cuffed while the officer's in the room, so that it's easier to handle you if you try to rebel. Probably cuffed to the table. Maybe you'll be on a long retractable chain. I like that actually. We'll cuff you to a retractable chain in the center of the room, which can get pulled into the center. Fucking, yeah. Fucking, we'll just drag you around to the center of the room with a chain. Now, actually, no, I want to do the corner. I want to do like the left corner of the room, away from the door. So you can get dragged to a corner of the room. I can just leave you alone in the corner with your ankle like pulled against the wall. Yeah. That sounds great. Yeah. Let's see, is there anything? Interrogations, as I said, will be polite. No cursing, no calling you the N-word. It's going to be straight to the point. We're barely going to run circles around. We're just going to get through it. All the questions that we feel like needing asked. Not going to, the best politeness you'll get in terms of fucking slowing down is you will get a break. I'll walk out the room for like half an hour. You will not get a fucking friendly conversation about the weather. You will get told to sit on what we last talked about, and I will just walk out of the room and you take like a 30-minute break and you will not get a cigarette. You will get told to sit there until you confess to your sins. Alright. Investigative rules, once they get something like a search warrant, will just be, they get to raid your house as much as they want. They don't have to clean up after themselves. We don't care, you're a criminal. Clean up after yourself, criminal. I will get to search everything, even your basement, all closed doors. If there's a locked door I want searched, I get to break down the door. Fucking, and if I'm too suspicious of you, especially if you're rich, I will be so weird, I will fucking act like life's a video game. I will search for hidden doors, including breaking your floor and walls apart to see if you have a hidden wall behind something. Especially when I've dealt with shit where people could fucking hide in fucking weird parts of the roof, at least, where there was enough room to crawl around parts of my fucking roof at my last house, where you could crawl, the cats could basically live in like the siding of my house like it's a fucking stunt double house or some shit. It's like some Hollywood type house to be able to do shit like that. It's fucking annoying. Anyway, freaking after that, they will get to break that stuff down to search those areas, make sure there's nothing going on. The search warrant will include searching your security footage too if you have a security camera at your house, especially indoors or outdoors. I definitely like the indoor cameras to see if I could make sure people were doing crimes inside, like punching their wife or something. I will charge you with any crimes I see on camera if they're unrelated to the search warrant at the time, such as, again, abusing your wife or children. Yep. So that's even with your own security cameras, let alone if I'm like, while I'm searching your house, someone confesses to they're abused. That'll at least cause an investigation when it's DCSFS or something. Yep. All right. And again, I don't have to clean up after myself. It's your house. You're the criminal. You clean up your own house. I will leave it a fucking wreck when I'm done searching your house. I don't fucking care. We already do that with cop cars. I mean, when cops search your car. Happened to me once when I got caught with weed. It will happen to you at your fucking house. Yep. Also, I am allowed to break stuff open again if I feel like you're hiding something somewhere weird, like inside a statue or inside a piñata or something. I will break your child's birthday piñata to make sure you don't have drugs in it. Yeah, so basically, a search warrant, once that happens, I get to raid your house as much as I want, and it will not be by ourselves. Rules for that will be, it will be at least a fucking 4-man cop crew with probably 2 searchers and 2 people just standing by the house owners, house renters, or whoever lives in the house, making sure they don't go fucking criminal on you and try to shoot you when you finally find a dead body or something. They will be mandated to watch the suspected criminals the whole time while the other 2 cops search the house and the property, which will also include anything on the property, even the guest house or the horse stable if you're rich or some shit. Whole property gets searched. I will even dig holes in your yard if I think you have a dead body in the yard. Alright. And that about covers it for the investigative phase. We'll briefly touch on administration for police, which basically administrative stuff will basically be handing out assignments once they fucking find a crime and need someone to do it. There will also be they'll also be the one to handle punishments, which then fucking also interact with the public about news things. Administrative roles will handle news people and explain what happened with a crime or whatever, such as like who did the rape, who was the victim, so on and so forth. When did it happen? Blah blah blah. You know how news events works for the police if you've watched the news enough or even seen enough movies. Alright, anyway. Police punishments, how they would work if I'm a cop fucked up enough by saying something like, oh no, he starts the investigation by admitting he's a rapist. He's going to rape you if he doesn't get a good investigation to pop off. That cop would be fired for being that much of a loser. Because again, the more you fuck up with your cop etiquette as a cop, the more I get counter-sued by you claiming you're a rapist as a cop. Because then you're as much of a criminal as the criminal you're supposed to arrest. It gets fucking stupid, everyone hates each other, and no one will care about that crime within an hour and hope everyone's dead. Yep. Yeah. So basically, the main rule for if you will get fired is, did you manage to fuck up an investigation in 5 minutes in my head by, again, saying something dumb like, I'm a rapist. Fucking, you say something that dumb as a cop, you'll get fired because you're controversial and you annoy me because you ruin every investigation by proclaiming that to start. Yep. Alright. Basically, I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably fire people really fast as a cop, especially when I need people to have good etiquette as a cop, because the more you suck as a cop and you're just some brutish thug, the more you suck for the law, and me trying to prove the criminal is worse than the cop, and basically ends up being a cop versus civilians argument instead of cop versus criminal, because you said you wanted to be a rapist cop. Anyway, basically, yeah, I probably wouldn't even do things like 3 strikes. I'd probably give you 2 strikes if you fuck up an investigation, or your etiquette's so bad you basically are a criminal to me. If you act enough like a criminal, and as a cop, you will just get fired faster. There's gonna be it's gonna be very strict with cops, because fucking you guys uphold the law. The more hypocrites you are, the more the government doesn't seem real, and we get things like vigilantes because fucking the cops aren't real. So you guys need to be really strict with yourselves, or else fucking Spider-Man Jr. is gonna pop up on the street to beat up the rapists instead. I don't fucking need that. I need cops to actually uphold the law. Alright. So fucking basically with fucking firing cops. It'll be very quick fire. I will not do things like the cop brotherhood bullshit where you can get rehired at another police station. I'd permanently bar you from the cops and just fucking find someone else to be a cop. Because fucking you will just go abuse another town if you manage to go to another town to be a cop. But especially if they fucking tolerate you saying you're a rapist cop. Fucking just basically the more you're a detriment and you are someone that can be said a criminal and someone's like, he's an exception to the rule, he's spoiled, you get fired. We don't have exceptions to the rules as cops. We uphold the law. Fucking, if you don't uphold the law as a cop and you're just enabling crimes, you will get fired. Fucking, the best I will do to slow down your firing is I will investigate it first thoroughly to make sure you fucked up. And I won't lie, it'd probably be a good enough thing to where at best you would get suspended. I'll be nice to the cops for once on this one. Say you will get suspended with pay, but without work, no overtime pay. You'll get 8-hour shifts. I'll let you get a 40-hour week paycheck every time at least. As long as you're under suspension and being investigated. Better hope my investigation fails, because I will not fucking prolong it to a month every time. The second I can guarantee that I could show up to a courtroom and guarantee you're fired, I will fire you on the spot and at best tell you to fucking file an appeal and meet me in court. That's the only way you're going to get your job back, is if you fucking beat me in court and prove you weren't a corrupt cop. Otherwise, you're fucked. You are fired. That's basically how everything should be settled, actually. Fucking, I won't... If any time you fuck up enough to where you violate the law to me, fucking, you will get arrested as well. And fucking, yeah, fucking, you know what? Fuck paying you. Fuck paying you. So, change suspension. Suspension's gone. Fucking, if I prove you did a crime, you're just going straight to jail. You're gonna be treated like a regular criminal. No special privileges, where you get to be fucking Mr. Fucking, I'm an exception to the rule, I get suspended with pay. No. You're getting investigated. I'm gonna fucking get you arrested if I fucking even remotely prove it. And I will investigate you while you're in prison, and your reward will be food and water. You'll be treated like a regular criminal. Especially with the rules I vied with for investigation. Now we're going to go to the final set of how things would be if I ruled the world, prison rules for today. How would prisons run? Assuming I'm not actively investigating you, putting in a room of stagnation and sadness to torture you without beating you up, you will fucking just have a basic daily life that's pretty sad, and honestly based on my juvie life, because my juvie experience when I was in juvie, when I was like 15, was near perfect to me for a prison to rule. So we're just going to vibe with that system. First of all, your cells will be very small. They will stay very small. You'll have your toilet and sink in the same room. You'll be allowed books in your room. And since we're in a modern society, I will let you have a fucking phone to watch YouTube on with a plug-in to charge your phone. But your phone will be moderated by the fact you will never get a phone plan. You will instead be told you are watching, you're going to be on the Wi-Fi, the prison Wi-Fi with moderated YouTube. You'll be lucky it doesn't end up YouTube Kids rating if fucking the YouTube internet sucks. I'll probably censor the news to an extent, mainly, so that you don't get too controversial in prison, and try to fucking start a political revolution from your cell, because, I don't know, Greta Thunberg had a great point about climate control that day or some shit. What else? From there, outside your cell, for your outside times, I will allow a communal time with fucking breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and there'll be free time periods, probably 2 a day, probably 1 a bit after breakfast, and then a bit before dinner. Thinking that'll be fine. You'll get free time. Will basically be able to talk to your fellow prisoners, maybe the guards if they feel nice, but I doubt it. Nobody really talked to guards when I was in juvie. What else? You'll get exercise equipment. There'll be a basketball court, and for other entertainment, you can get books, or again, I'll let you have your phone during free time. So if you want, you can just sit on your phone during free time and watch YouTube again. And I'll also say phone privileges include being able to text people. I'll probably just say to use Facebook Messenger or whatever, so we don't have to spend money for you to fucking text people. Just fucking use Facebook Messenger or Discord or whatever. I'll probably let you have like any basic any of the modern apps we have for socializing on, as long as they don't have private messaging that's like encrypted messaging like WhatsApp. You don't get WhatsApp. You don't get encrypted messaging apps. You get fucking Discord and shit. That's the best you're going to get for a social platform. You get Discord or Facebook or something. Nothing with encrypted messaging, though. I have to be able to see your messages for you to be able to use social media. Alright, and There will be a TV during free time. I'm off the top of my head for some reason. I'm thinking I'll have like an inside lobby for free time if you don't want to be outside exercising, especially if it's winter, because I don't need you guys outside during winter. So it'll probably be a pretty big lobby with at least like one big TV for everyone to group watch something on. I'll probably do it as like a fucking safety challenge of funsies to see if you guys can handle sharing a TV and having to accept we all share the TV in the lobby. Maybe it's a big room where it's supposed to be like a 100-man prison or something with the lobby. I will fucking have multiple TVs, but it's like supposed to be like 20 people to a lobby or whatever. You'll get one TV for like 20 people probably. In the free use areas, the lobby areas for free time. Otherwise, you will have your phones for entertainment, so you'll probably get to carry your chargers, as long as nobody ruins that rule and you guys fucking beat each other up with the cords. If you guys manage to ruin USB cords, I fucking don't know what to tell you. You'll fucking have to hand your phone in to charge your phone and read a book while your phone charges because your prisoners sucked. You beat each other up with the cords or something, like retards. Alright. Guard etiquette will be very simple in the prison. They're not required to talk to you. They're really just required to keep the peace between prisoners and the guards, including being able to beat you up and trank you and put you in a cell, or strap you to a hospital bed and strap you down so you can't move. Literally, they're allowed to restrain and sedate you and fucking beat you up to restrain you, including the usual UFC rules, up to fucking putting you in submission hold and putting handcuffs on you, including your ankles. They'll really handcuff both your hands and ankles anytime they want, even as patrolmen or investigators. From there, there's probably going to be a lot of guards. I'm not going to lie, I don't like prison riots from TV shows, so I'd probably do it best like a 2-to-1 ratio on prison guards to prisoners. And that's if they all carried weapons at least. I would basically only allow 2-to-1 on guards to prisoners if guards had the bulletproof vest, their gun, and a nightstick. If I could guarantee that build at least, and since it's a prison, I'm supposed to like sedate people sometimes, add in a taser to like somewhat sedate people, at least stun them. Fucking that'll be enough to where we can do 2-to-1 with prisons, because necessarily we can pull out the gun. Lethal force makes things awesome. So fucking a gun with lethal force will fucking be able to take out like at least fucking 4 prisoners, at least if they're at decent range between them and the fucking guard. So basically with that regard, 2-to-1 on prisoners to guards would work. Be pretty good with that kit. From there, there'd probably be how guarding a room would work would literally be basically like fucking however many prisoners are supposed to be in a room at a given time, there will be half that many guards in a room armed with their weapons and bulletproof vests. Anyway, there will be cameras in every room in the prison, including yourselves. Since you are criminals already and have been put in prison, you will not get spared on any rule when it comes to cameras, even the shower room or in your cell where you take a shit. There will be cameras. There was cameras in my cell. There was cameras in my cell when I was in juvie. They have cameras for juveniles in the juvenile detention center. They have it for you as adults. Deal with it. There will be cameras in every room. Every room, no exceptions. Not even an exception to the guard rooms where they're just like guard only, like their break room or their fucking security room. There will be cameras in the guard rooms too. There will be also fucking computer screen watching. Or similar to that rule with Google where they fucking screenshot your page once a minute, I will fucking have everyone's screens screen shared and moderated with the Wi-Fi. Everyone will be on the Wi-Fi, even the guards. The guards will have to be on Wi-Fi to moderate their phones too, because I know betrayal is real. I know the guards can get fucked up if they get bribed because of a PayPal bonus or something to let a fucking prisoner get a blowjob from a fucking guard or something. Fucking nope. Gotta moderate your phone. P. Diddy ain't getting any bonuses because he fucking dropped money in your account. Fucking everyone's gonna fucking deal with it being prison. And when it comes to how the prison will entertain you otherwise, it will mainly be mental hospital rules and entertainment. Your only unique thing is that you get a phone, which will be moderated to a major extent, especially on the news. After that, curfew will be, there will be no free roaming time. All your times will be regulated. You are only allowed outside of your cell during meal times and the free times I mentioned before. And maybe classes or church if you have them. If or work. If you have a job, you get to be outside of your cell in your workplace. Anytime, any bonus times you're outside of your cell are for basic reasons of trying to make you grow into a better person, or therapy or something. We give you a therapist, or basically fucking anything. All right, fucking. So basically, you would basically I'm not gonna go with time structures off the top of my head. I don't feel like dealing with the time zones because fucking I don't run a prison yet. Those are just the categories for when you get outside your cell. Otherwise, you will be inside your cell all day. Literally, you will just have your phone and books for entertainment, and that's it. You will not get fucking anything else because your phone will do well enough unless you break your fucking phone. As long as you don't break your phone, your average phone like what I'm holding or what you have in your pocket will be good enough to entertain that prisoner for his whole time in prison. Also, no drugs beyond any mental health pills you get approved or anything for health, period. Only health pills, and I'm not going to be nice and say, oh, a doctor prescribed me weed, I get to smoke a blunt. Sorry, that's cannabis. We know that's a drug to get you high. No cannabis for you, buddy. You're a criminal in jail. Your doctor would literally have to win a court case against me for me to let you smoke a weed joint in prison, even once a day, just to cure your glaucoma or something. Literally, you would have to win a court case. I will not care. It's a drug. Same with liquor. No drugs while you're in prison, obviously. And probably the one bonus that I will be nice to criminals about is I'll at least let you get good food. Probably not catering quality. We'll probably just do like fucking supermarket quality food. And fucking maybe some home cooking once in a while with supermarket ingredients. Because I feel like the one pleasure in life you get besides your phone is good food. Especially if you're there for a long time. I'll probably just get bored. Especially because I might want good food for guards. Since if they don't want to fucking go out and buy Burger King every day or bring in food. So cook food for prisoners and guards. Make it like at least supermarket quality. And just go from there. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll be fat and lazy and just order like 300 fucking stuffers and lasagnas. If you're lucky. And and that should about cover for cop etiquette. Also, one more thing, I have to crush your dreams. If I ruled prisons, you would not get conjugal visits, no sex visits, give up. You don't get cuddle sessions even. You will be separated by the glass because you're in prison. Deal with it. And also, we'll classify the basic things, the mental hospital rules for prison, as well as a little to no touching between people as possible. We'll avoid hugs and handshakes and stuff, especially because I can exchange weapons and drugs. No rape or sex in the prisons. Your showers will probably not be communal. I'll probably have them be single showers at a time. Maybe I'll be nice and put a shower in your fucking cell because there were showers at one of my mental hospitals, at two of my mental hospitals in the same room actually. Yeah, so mental hospitals have showers in the same room as your mental health person. You can probably have your shower in prison too, so you can, be bored like I was in mental hospital and clean yourself like 5 times a day. I will probably not do prisons where you guys get to have multiple sexes in the same prison. I will probably do same-sex prisons, but every prison where at best if they share a building, you are separated into wings of male and female. And when it comes to trans people, I'm probably going to be mean. You'll probably be forced to represent yourself as your true gender as much as possible. And I will probably force you to be in a room with people with the same genitalia because I'm mean. And I don't, even though some of me wants to be nice to trans people, the other half is like they're criminals. and they could be lying the long-term excuse to claim they're a woman, so they can be the only penis in the room. So that one of two things could happen with abuse, which is one, since they're in that desperate situation with only one dick in the room, besides the guards, if there's male guards there, because honestly, I might give up and fucking let there be at least like two genders with the guards. And fucking, besides them, the guards being the only dicks in the room, literally instead of figuratively, you'll be the only man so that you could fucking easily have sex with women in prison because you're the only dick around, unless they're lesbian. Or option B, you obviously just did a long-term scam to rape women in prison when you went to jail. Either scam honestly works to me because fucking, if you pull it off, you're the only one with a wiener in the room at the prison. You have an illegal advantage because of that. Point, it's funny. Some of us admit it's based. That's why I can't let you have that privilege, trans people. You'll get too much sex even if you're not a rapist. And that, yeah. Yeah, and basic punishments for how you're handled if you fuck up in prison will, often just be getting thrown back in your cell, or for some reason you share a cell with someone, so we got cramped or something. Whereas there's a prison where we do two people in a cell, which I probably wouldn't do. I might mandate solitary confinement for every person. I just feel like that's safer because I don't have to end up in a beater situation, or worse, for normalcy instead of imagined criminals. Two gay people having sex all day in their cell. I don't want people to be able to have a sex life in their prison, so I'd probably mandate solitary confinement for everyone. Punishments would probably mainly just be solitary confinement and beatings, because you're already in prison. And the only other punishment would be I would just charge a new crime on you. I don't let the court system handle it from there for how much longer you end up in my prison again. Literally, we would just add more new charges to you every time you fucked up with something as dumb like punching your fellow criminal, punching a cop, trying to rape someone, so on and so forth. Basically, I just let you rack up charges while you're in prison all day. If you're fucking up, instead of just trying to leave and be a good-mannered person. And I would probably, I'd probably get rid of parole. I don't like the idea of people getting out of prison early, even if they're on very good behavior. I'd probably mandate you serve your punishment the whole time. Especially because people are always annoyed with someone that was a famous criminal gets out early. We're always mad. People always talk shit, so I just get rid of that. And that basically explains cop etiquette, guys. Is that the new cop siren? Oh, well, that cop car has made me add on an addendum. The word police on the car wasn't noticeable enough on that car. I would make it more noticeable. Probably invert the coloring of the letters on that one, just make it bright white letters. Or with standard white cars, make them black letters that say police. I don't like cop cars that are hidden unless you're supposed to be undercover cops and they have permission, because I would probably still do undercover cops, especially for stalking missions. I just don't. It's just like, he looked like a patrol cop. I might be wrong, but he said police on the side of his car. I noticed that. So I would probably mandate that if you're a real patrol cop, the word police has to be obvious on the sides of your car, or else I fucking think you're annoying. Only undercover cops with permission get to be plainclothes cops with their car and clothes. I don't like the idea of cops being hidden in plain sight, mainly because cop cars are supposed to be a deterrent. They're supposed to be a very visible deterrent. Similar to that security camera there. Visible cops are a deterrent. That's why I should have them noticeable. Without visibility, cops aren't as much a deterrent as even a security camera is over there. I only want the deterrent to go away if I'm stalking you, so that I can investigate you more easily, because you're more comfortable with just a plain car in front of your house instead of like a real cop car. Because a real cop car would make you be stiff and on alert, while a regular car, especially when it looks a bit abandoned, would make you just think it's just a broke car. You don't have to care about it. Stuff like that. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Peace and love.